wants to get started? Guha? Okay.
Good evening, everyone. This is Raghu. I'm a Salesforce consultant working in a federal agency. And if you wonder why I'm holding this, we are doing a go-to meeting as well. So they are listening. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hi, whoever on the go-to meeting there. All right.
And for your information, we are also recording this session so that we will be posting it in our chatter in Success community. So anytime you want to grab another second look of it, you can.
All right, let's get started. Welcome to Meetup. I would like to see, are there any fresh persons here, like folks attending for the first time? 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. Thank you for attending. And we are Salesforce Developer Meetup Group, which is organized by Sanjeev, Guha, me, and Kalyan. Kalyan is not here today. We do a lot of cool stuff. We demo, we do hands-on exercises. We do Trailhead badges, Trailhead super badges, and we have much more coming in this year. And I would like you to expand a little bit more.
Yeah, so in terms of the meetups, we try to meet once a month, and we talk about different topics, and love to get participation from the different members. If there are topics you're interested in, we're happy to focus on that. If you want to get your hands dirty and write some code, certainly we do that as well. And depending on the topic, sometimes it can be very technical, and we welcome participation. But we also welcome members to kind of bring their specific problems that they can then pose to the group and kind of get the collective experience to help solve the problems. We try to move the group around in terms of location. Last one we did was at Fannie Mae. So we're trying to move it around to try to get people from different parts of DC Metro to make it convenient for them. So far we've done Virginia. So we're probably going to look at doing one in Maryland as well. So welcome any feedback, or if there's any locations you want to suggest, we'd be happy to look into it. In terms of topics, like Raghu was saying, it kind of ranges, but certainly one of the areas that we also look at is just kind of keeping up the skill set and making sure we're up to date in terms of what's happening with Salesforce. We're gonna probably announce it afterwards, but we're also going to be thinking about doing a hackathon. So we're going to talk more about that after the slides.
Thanks, Sanjeev. So if you're, today's topic is summer 17 release updates. Salesforce gives a lot of releases, and it's difficult to keep up with their releases with 500 pages document. So we make it simple. I go through some 250 pages, and I put up quite a few slides explaining what are the major updates for this release and what are some user-friendly, awesome admin-related stuff. And I'll be focusing more on sales, analytics, chatter. Let's go ahead. Forward-looking statement, I'm not an employee of Salesforce, so whatever I say, don't make any purchasing decisions. I'm not responsible, and you can't sue me. All right. Let's go with lightning readiness. So how many of you are using Salesforce? Oh, quite. And who are quite new to Salesforce, who are trying to learn Salesforce? Nice. So lightning is something which Salesforce implemented, trying to implement, push on us. A new update on the UI side, UX side, UI and UX. So it's pretty fast. More on single page applications and the way applications respond to us, and it's pretty. As the name says, it's lightning. It's pretty fast. So one more question before I go into into this slide. How many of you are using Lightning already? Nice. How many of you are still in Classic? How many of you are still in the process of migrating from Classic to Lightning? Out of 4, just 2. Okay. So we have quite a few people who are trying to migrate from Classic to Lightning. So that's one of the challenging issues with the Salesforce implementations these days. Good luck with that. All right, so Lightning readiness check. So this is more of Sales Cloud Einstein. If you guys have heard or hearing, or you haven't heard of Einstein, it's artificial intelligence powered by Salesforce. So this particular feature, which is introduced in summer 17, checks the readiness check for your Sales Cloud Einstein implementation. What does that mean? So running the readiness check looks at your organization, looks at your implementation, evaluates a lot of stuff which Einstein uses, and gives you a consolidated report on what's ready to be used by your org, what configurations can be implemented right on the fly, and what configurations need more work from your side. So it gives you a detailed report on what needs to be done. And what is Sales Cloud Einstein? What does that do? We have more slides coming up. So this is something which I did. I ran an analysis on one of my developer edition orgs. So this is how it looks like, connector and running your analysis. After running it, gives you sends you an email saying your report is ready, and it will be emailed to you so that you can go through it. And depending upon your organization or implementation, the document varies from a couple of pages to a big document where you have to go through. So as I said, Einstein is artificial intelligence, tries to make your work easy by predicting stuff. Let's go one by one what we have with this update. The first one is Einstein Automated Contacts. The name suggests automated contacts. So it helps you find contacts based on your activities in Salesforce, based upon your email conversations from Salesforce. It also gives you an easy view to have opportunity contact roles and contacts. I haven't tested all these features yet because this was released like a couple of weeks ago. So I took some of the screenshots from the release document, some from my developer instance. And look, if we look at the first one, add opportunity contact role, we do have quite a few options. These are all suggestions by the Einstein, the matching algorithm or logic, the algorithm which runs in the backend. We do have option to accept the contact role. We do have option to block these suggestions. That means the algorithm runs by itself, and it adjusts so that these kind of opportunity contact roles would not be suggested anymore. And the X is you don't want to continue with this contact role. And if you look at this particular Thomas Perez, it suggests based on your activity timeline or email conversation suggests you a new contact. So yes, I said Einstein suggests, and there's an algorithm running in the backend which gives you all the suggestions. But the question from the security perspective or access perspective is, what kind of suggestion, where the suggestion appears, and who sees the suggestion? That's important to us, right? So when you look at the contacts, it's on the home page and account records. Perfect, right on point. Accounts have contacts and a home page. Who sees the suggestion? It's quite explanatory. Anyone in the to field, account owner, account team members, users manager. I'll go a little fast with these because it might not be useful to everyone here, but you can go through this slide real quickly. Opportunity contact role, home page and opportunity records, right on point. Home page has Einstein component, which definitely gives us all the sessions, and opportunity records because opportunity contact role is much more related to that. Who sees these sessions? Opportunity owner, opportunity team members, and users manager. Smart email matching, which is beta, and the symbol right there, lightning symbol. If moving on, if if the symbol is right on the slide, that means this particular feature or this particular slide is related only to Lightning and does not apply to Classic. So this is Lightning feature, smart email matching. What does that do? It studies all your email activity and activities related to a contact based on the emails, based on the activities you do with the account or opportunities. It gives you the next steps. Artificial intelligence and Einstein. What are the next steps? Check in on the delivery, sign contracts, send pricing, much more. And it's more adaptable to your implementation based on your data sets you have in your organization. And this is beta. What is beta? It's out for users to test, but it's not generally available. That means don't rely on that. It's not yet there, but it's coming. This is just a beta version of it, and you can have your hands on with that. But the final copy is yet to come, probably next couple of releases. Einstein Activity Capture. Lightning feature. Einstein Activity Capture adds all the activities related to that particular opportunity, contact, or accounts based on the data sets, based on the opportunities created and closed dates. And what suggestions does it give and what's the criteria for that? We do have start of activity date range and end of activity date range. Open opportunities 60 days before created or closed date, and end is 60 days from today. And for the closed opportunities, same thing, but the end of activity goes from 60 days after being closed. Einstein lead scoring. Before I go with this, I would like to see how many of you use Sales Cloud. Leads, accounts, contacts, awesome. At least there are some people here, which makes sense to what I'm speaking here. And Einstein lead scoring, the new Einstein lead scoring dashboard powered by Wave. That's in red because it's an add-on. It's not a free option which you can get from Salesforce. So this particular Einstein lead scoring gives insights from it delves into different topics based on the corporate level, based on the positions there, based on your accounts and contacts. It looks at all the data and scores your lead based on all the different dimensions of data available. So there are quite a few analytics involved in scoring your leads, and some of the examples are listed here. I don't have the release notes available to be displayed here, but if you look at this particular option in summer 17 release, you do have a different charts, visualizations available for all these analytics. Company level predictive factors, lead conversion rate, lead statistics for a time period, average lead score by lead source. So these are just examples of the analytics that Einstein uses to capture or to analyze your leads and give it a score, but there are quite a few much more involved in there in the algorithm. Assign leads and create process based on score. The score intelligence object. How many of you are developers here? Nice. Are awesome admins? There you go. So yeah, for if you ever wonder of playing around with the lead score, we now have an object called score intelligence for Einstein, and you can work around with that, having triggers, process builder, and custom formula fields. That means you have more control over scores on the leads and the activities. Einstein Insights, sorry with that bad slide there. It was taken from release notes. What does these insights give you? It goes through all the articles available outside, probably legit articles about the companies, about your contacts, and opportunities out there. Gives you insights of when your competitor was mentioned, when a particular contact is leaving from a company, and any internal leadership changes. So that's very good to have when you have a million accounts in your instance and a million contacts or more than that. Einstein Insight gives you a very good picture of which accounts have changes internally, which contacts have changed their roles or their positions and their companies. So That's a very good feature for me, or from my perspective, because you don't have to do all the hard work going in and changing the contacts. The next option, core sales features. The features which I discussed until now are more related to Einstein, and this is more towards your core sales. So everyone, right from this slide, everyone has access to all the features. Leads, keep related files and records when reps convert leads. So I'm not sure if you're aware of this. If you convert a lead and you already attach some files, you have some related records to those leads, you don't have them pulled over to contacts or opportunities or any other conversion objects. Moving on, you don't need to worry about them because you might have written triggers or classes or batch process based upon your implementation, but this is done by Salesforce. Moving on, if you convert a lead, all the associated records files are reparented. Encryption of lead fields, beta up to 10 standard fields. So any federal agency contractors or full-timers? 1, 2, 3, 4, nice, 5. Security, PII. You guys have dealt with PII a lot, personal identification information. So if you got a lot of PII information in there, you now have standard option to encrypt your lead fields. Probably you would have bought Zipper Cloud or Salesforce Shield. But moving on, Salesforce is enhancing their encryption to 256K, 256-bit, I guess. But that's a good sign for us. We don't need to worry about third-party integrations, third-party security controls. We already have encryption there. Relate accounts to leads faster with account matching. More automation. When you convert a lead, you need to search or look up for your accounts. You don't need to do anymore because, I mean, you have to, but it suggests you something based upon the information from the lead available. Support for person accounts. I mean, the account matching has different options here. Support for person accounts, enhanced type ahead. Enhanced type ahead, very useful feature in my opinion. You don't need to click on magnifying glass, go to the next window, search for your accounts. You just type in, say, VWork is one of the accounts, V space, and then you get the VWork option there. That's very good. Multiple match. Oh yeah, if VWork has multiple locations in DC, so you get 10 different options. All the options are listed there, which is good. Okay, the symbol is a little off, but with the second point there. Not for all the. There are only 2 points, not for the first one. Account hierarchy in the same page. So if you all looked at the account hierarchy previously, you need to go for a different page, look at the different hierarchy levels in a different view. So that's right on the same page now with this release. And I have one question. Whoever answers, there will be no gift. I don't have any. But how many levels of hierarchy can we have in accounts? Anyone? 6. Next. 5. I think 2000. So I think so. 99% sure, but I don't know. We can check and I can answer by the end of this presentation. I get the gift, which I don't have. Add account team members with accuracy. The contact access pick list now shows only valid options. Account team members to the contact access pick list now shows only valid options. I forgot. Moving on to the next one, campaigns. See which campaigns accounts are responding to. New chats added. There are a lot of chats added to campaigns so that you have more insights into campaigns and see which accounts are responding. What are the opportunities created? Drill down by campaigns, drill down by opportunities, drill down by accounts. Very good feature which can be leveraged with this release. Add members to campaigns. How many of you did campaigns and had difficulty adding members to the campaigns? It's a very laborious process. They are moving with very good user-friendly options. Add members to campaigns from reports in Lightning Experience. You do a report with all the filters you have on the contacts and then add members to the campaign from the report. Same from the accounts. Track campaign field history. One more question: how many fields can we track on a? How many fields history can we track on one object? 25, 20, 20. Don't get the gift. Sorry. Have an extra cookie. Validation rules on campaign influence records. We can have validations rules set up on campaign influence. Sortable campaign members related list, more chart types. As I said, campaigns, campaign influence have more chart types, which helps you, your users, your executives drill deep into campaigns, how they're performing and their opportunities. We'll post, if you're ever wondering, we post this slide deck onto the meetup so you can download it from there. If you're on Slack, we'll post that to Slack too. Okay. Yeah, recording, okay. Okay. And if you're not part of Slack, meet me or Guha during our break. We'll add you to the Slack channel where a good communication happens on upcoming meetups, jobs, certifications. That's a good place. Sorry, I'm off topic, but getting back onto the last point, Salesforce campaign influence model renamed. So this particular model, campaign influence, is renamed to primary campaign source. Opportunities, 2 features which are just available in Lightning. See opportunity stage history in Lightning experience, which is good experience. Jump to today's date with 1 click. This is one of the features they released with Summer 17. So if you click on Lightning calendars, you don't have an option to select today, which we used to have in the Classic. But with this release, they have the today option too. Path, how many of you are aware with the path in Lightning? Nice. Path is something which gives the path for a record. Say, for example, an opportunity, it has stages. Path is something which is the way the opportunity should be derived. So we had limitations on path with some standard objects, and there are no custom objects supported on the path. Build success with path on contracts and orders. They extended to a couple more standard objects, contract and orders, and they have custom objects on their roadmap too, probably in 2018 releases. But path, Lightning has. This is for Sales Cloud, and nothing to do with Einstein because it's an add-on package. But there's more of Sales Cloud, contracts and orders. I don't know if Service Cloud has path, and they don't have custom objects. So which is coming one by one. They have contracts and orders for this release. Decide how path displays. There was standard functionality on how path displayed until previous release. Now you can define on how it displays. You can play around with different paths and filters on that. Package path. How many of you do here do packages, deploy stuff? A lot of them do, right? You can package path from this release. Contacts, all the features, Lightning experience. See contact hierarchy from contact pages in Lightning experience. So same as accounts, you don't need to go to another page to look at the contact hierarchy. You get the same, get the details on same page. Create contacts quicker from account records, mailing address. So, yep, I got an account. I created VWork, and then I got Natasha's details, and then I got to go in, enter Natasha's details, and enter all her mailing address, phone, fax manually. But wouldn't it be nice if I have the option of automatically populating the contact from account? That's delivered, and we do have an option to yes or no, check or uncheck. So a couple of clicks saved. News and Twitter are new tabs by themselves. So until, how many of you are irritated by news feed in Lightning experience? I am. I don't need those news. So news and Twitter are new tabs by themselves. So right when you log into Salesforce, you don't see news. There's a new tab for news. There's a new tab for Twitter. So I'm happy. I'll never click on the news tab anymore. Productivity features is next topic. Sales Console is now GA. One more question. What is GA in Salesforce? Yeah, he's my roommate. We live and breathe Salesforce. Sales Console is now GA. You can migrate current classic console apps to Lightning. From next question, you don't answer, please. Let's. GA is generally available. That means beta, which Salesforce gives you beta options to work around, get your hands on. But when it's generally available, it's production deployable, and your users can use this without any issues, or your users can be trained with this. Lightning Voice is now Lightning Dialer. Organized calls with a call list, generally available. So we can say I'm a salesperson, I have 25 leads out there, I'm using Lightning Voice. Lightning Voice is a soft phone by Salesforce. That means I can call right away from my computer, desktop, just with a mouse click. So organized calls with a call list. So I have 10 different leads. Previously, I have to write down on a paper or on a sheet so that I have list of contacts that I can call. But with this, I have a call list I can manage. I can do one-by-one calls from there. Send pre-recorded voicemail messages. Yes, if your company has 100 salespersons and you want to maintain the consistency on the voicemails, you have that option. Mute your microphone. Make calls from numbers and reports. Quite a few features released with Lightning Voice. Email, all of them are Lightning features. Use your classic email templates in Lightning Experience. There are some limitations with that, but once you migrate to Lightning, there are options where you can use classic email templates in your while sending email through Lightning. See and do more with the pop-out email composer. So there's a new feature, pop-out email composer. That means if you're using Inbox or Gmail, you do have an option to minimize the email and then maximize edit recipients in a new screen. So similar kind of feature is implemented with this release. And see and edit your email signatures. Previously, there was no option to edit your email signatures, and that's given with this release. Activities, expand all, and more past activity. So if you look at the screenshot here, we do have next steps past activity. That will be very helpful when quite a few people are working on the same contact or account or opportunity. So we do have expand option, which expands next steps and past activity. Expand all, that means it expands all the activity, where previously you have to go to each activity, look at the steps that were followed with this particular account, contact, or opportunity. And more past activity, that's one more button available so that you can dive more into the activity. List views, more useful feature. Delete chats from list views. Lightning has this good feature where you can do chats with the list views, and once you do those chats, previously you weren't able to delete them, but now you have the option to delete them. Navigate list views from your keyboard. People who are lazy to reach the mouse, which is 1 mile away, you have keyboard options to navigate with the list views. Kanban, who likes Kanban here? Nice. That's one of the great features which Salesforce implemented, and that made me look into Kanban, what actually it is, where did it come from? Do any one of you have any idea where did that Kanban word? Or yeah, you can go ahead.
Toyota and continuous improvement. Yes. Thanks.
So it was implemented by Toyota, and they saw a tremendous increase in their productivity with having activities sorted out in columns and pushing these activities a column after column, like the assembly structure. That's where the Kanban started, and we use it as part of our agile implementations. So coming back here, the Kanban displays records visually for any list view except recently viewed. So there are some limitations on Kanban, but you can have Kanban views with list views. Previously, it was with objects and detailed pages. Summarize, there's quite a few updates. Summarize by numeric fields, group the Kanban view by owner, identify cards that reps can't update. So it gives you all the records, irrespective of the sharing, I think, and you can identify the cards which you can update or which you can update. Notes. So anyone have any idea of the future of notes and attachments? So probably in 2 or 3 releases, we will not see notes and attachments because they're moving to files. Maybe this is one of the last update to notes. Share notes and add them to records with ease. That's one of the easy feature for users which they have added. Content node. This is one of the new objects they have released with this release. What that particularly does is when you're migrating to Lightning, you have quite a few attachments and notes in your classic version. You have an API, you have an object where you can extract them and reparent them. Turn off feed tracking for nodes. Person accounts shows all nodes in related nests. Data quality. Detect duplicates across contacts and leads using standard rules. Surface duplicates across objects in Lightning experience. Couple of updates in data quality where you're using dupe management, matching, and duplicate or matching rules. Google integration. How many of you use Gmail? And probably you would have used Gmail to Salesforce or Google to Salesforce, where you can associate your contacts, accounts, opportunities, and any other custom objects with Salesforce, vice versa. So Lightning for Gmail is now generally available, so you can sync up your Gmail with Salesforce. Relate emails you're composing to Salesforce records. As I said, the activity you do in Gmail can be related to Salesforce. You're sending an email to one of your leads. You can capture that as an activity or email message in Salesforce. So when you go back to that account or contact, you can look at your previous conversations with that particular contact. And you also have an option to sync or not to sync each email. And attachments will also be synced, or it's you do have the control over syncing attachments to Salesforce from your Gmail. Stay logged into Lightning for Gmail. Gain speed and consistency with Lightning email templates, which we discussed. Stay logged in into Lightning for Gmail. So previously you were logged out or kicked out of Gmail for Salesforce, and then because of some security concerns, but that's solved now. You will be logged into Salesforce Lightning for Gmail. Choose which attachments are keepers. As I explained, you have the control over attachments. Keep Salesforce events up to date. You can sync them with Salesforce from Gmail. Identify emails related to Salesforce records easily. That's one of the cool feature when you go to a contact record and look at the email conversations, activities you did with the contacts. Lightning Sync for Google. So Google integration is the higher overview of integrating Gmail with Salesforce. The more in-depth control is with Lightning Sync. So which events do you want to capture? Who wins over who? Does Salesforce events win over Gmail, or Gmail events win over Salesforce events? And do you want to have one-way communication between Gmail and Salesforce, or two-way communication? All the details, granular details, are captured with Lightning Sync for Google. Microsoft integration, it's the same functionality, but with Microsoft Outlook, which I use. Pin Lightning for Outlook to make efficiency pop. Relate emails you're composing to Salesforce records. It's all the features as part of Gmail are delivered with Microsoft, so I'm not going to go deep into them.
Is it just one version of Outlook, or
web version of Outlook? Yes, it. There are quite a few options available. So Lightning Sync is available for web apps to Office 365, and there's an older version called Microsoft Salesforce for Microsoft, which is available for 2013 Microsoft Outlook application. So there are quite a few other updates. Cloud Scheduler is being retired. Any one of you have idea of Cloud Scheduler? So this is a scheduler where if you're trying to do an event or calendar invite to one of your contacts, it gets their their calendar details and sees if they're busy, or it's more like scheduling assistant, which Salesforce has previously. But now we got Gmail for Salesforce and Microsoft integration. They're retiring the cloud scheduler. In hierarchies, only parent records are displayed with icon for expanding row. So this is more for account hierarchies and contact hierarchies, and parent records are displayed with icon where you don't need to, I think you don't have expand all option, but if you have to go granular into the accounts or contacts, you do have an option for that. Make it easier to create orders, global action. So I think you all know global actions, where you can post it on the Salesforce One, Salesforce Lightning, and on as a custom button link. So we have create orders as a new global action, add and edit multiple order products. You can have multiple order products, adding and editing them. Analytics. So we'll be going more into Wave for reports and dashboards. I'll go fast because of time. Reports and dashboards. Add dashboard filters in Lightning Experience, which we did not have previously. We can add filters in dashboards. Find reports more easily while adding or editing dashboard components. So there are quite a few options when you're searching for reports, when you're creating dashboards with folders. Add combination charts to dashboards in Lightning Experience. So how many reports can a dashboard have previously? This one, right? But you can have combinations now. You can do a data study with that, where you can have a line graph and on top of that a donut or a analysis line. That's one of the cool feature. Subscribe other people to reports. Create report and dashboard folders in Lightning Experience. So previously, or till with the Winter 17 release, if you're creating a report folder, you're taken back to the classic app, classic view, and then you create the report folder there and come back to Lightning Experience to view the report. But now we have the Lightning Experience option. Dashboard charts display up to 300 groupings. It was 200 previously. Dashboards display a last refreshed warning. So last refreshed warning, we have the information of when the dashboard was refreshed previously in Classic, but not in Lightning, but we have that in Lightning Experience too. Wave Analytics, Instant Discovery. This is one of the add-on feature for Salesforce. Anyone using Wave Analytics here? Nice. Instant Discovery finds relevant facts and themes in your data without, so if you are, did anyone look at Google I/O 2017? Yeah. So they are more into machine learning, analyzing your data, artificial intelligence. So instant discovery is also a small part of it, where it looks at your data, analyzes the data, builds stories, build predictions. So discovery, as part of the name says, it discovers your data trends and suggests some predictions there. Data for instant discovery, there are quite a few options where you can get the data from. Salesforce, CSV files, Hadoop, MySQL, Netezza, Oracle, Postgres, SAP, SQL Server. You can create data sets by importing data using one of them. Review changes, you have more control over reviewing the changes. These images are taken from the release notes. Find stories buried in your data. So you have 1 million records or 2 million records, and your executives are looking at studying the data. They wouldn't like a person sitting in and going through each row, understanding the data. So there's instant discovery and Wave Analytics working together to give you trends in the data, analyze the data, give you stories about how it is. Probably putting out an example here. So WeWork is doing a marketing or campaigns, and much of their revenue is from Facebook, but they're investing a lot in Google Ads. So they look at this particular data, probably 1 million records, and the executives would like to learn about which campaigns or which opportunities are money making for them, and where the ROI, return on investment, is there. So instant discovery with a click of button gives you that, hi, Facebook is your go-to media for reaching out to people, and maybe you can increase your budget there and decrease a little bit on Google AdWords. With a click of button, it's pretty good to have these analysis done, and a lot more, quite a few algorithms run in the background to study your data. Going back to your security side, data is not communicated with any other external source. That's one of the good reasons here, where we can go with the Wave. Better understand your data through visualizations. Yep, there are a lot of visualizations available, more user experience or UX related. Salesforce has done a lot of tremendous job there, improving their UI. So no more classic reports and dashboards. We have quite good features available to do your visualization. Wave, personalize your analytics, home, and apps. Experience Wave via streamlined pathways for business. So there are two different options for experiencing Wave: business users and builders. Maybe we'll be on the builders side, where we'll be building the analytics and Wave applications. And there are two different options where analytics is a tab. Business users go in there, click there, and look at the available reports or data stories. But on the other side, we have options to develop, run the data sets through. Chatter, I use a lot of Chatter in my implementations, and I think a lot of them use. So Chatter is more of Facebook and Twitter to Salesforce. Chatter overall, use topics to organize your content in Chatter, which is a lightning feature, which we used to have in Classic. Discover people to follow and groups to join. Einstein recommendations. This is one of the cool features there. You're looking for success communities, Washington, DC developer group. What if Einstein suggests you Baltimore, Philadelphia, and nonprofit groups? That'll be cool. So more of that. Einstein recommendations gives you groups which are more relevant to the search options. Feeds, streams, feeds are Chatter feeds. New streams home with stream rows that can be edited or deleted. So we had company streams, but now we have more control over them, where they can be edited or deleted. Stream management. Click the number of records on a row to see a full list of people and records that you added to the stream. So you have more control again. Stream notifications. You get notifications when you have different options to dive into and then get notifications by email. Use records follow action to add it to a stream. Filter a profile to see users post and seen by. There are quite a few options or upgrades to feeds and streams in Chatter. Groups. Manage members with ease. You have a custom object standard object where you can add members to groups when you have quite a lot of users and you have more Chatter going on, more groups going on. And see group email notifications on the group page, group info in the tile view, which is a great feature. If you looked at the success community, the new updated options are tile views with the different meetups or different dev groups or user groups. That's one of the features which is released. Security and identity. There are a lot of features in this security and identity, but I cut short a lot of them for a basic admin view. Authentication and identity. Embedded login enables users to log in to your website. So users here using custom domains, communities, portals, they get more authentication identity from Salesforce out of box. Export profile password policies. Remove the surprise of session timeout. Tooling API endpoints now included for Salesforce identity. So interesting point would be remove the surprise of session timeout. Previously, we had pop-ups coming in right before your inactivity if you have set up them. But there's a new feature which appears if you're working on Chrome and you're on your Gmail. There's an option right on Gmail saying your activity in Salesforce will be timed out. Do you want to continue? Yes or no? That's one of the feature which is good. Health check. Health check runs through your organization or implementation and gives you a base scores at different levels. Import a custom security baseline into health check, which is generally available. And health check has new and changed security settings, which you can look at them there. Security connections, HTTP only attribute, and quite a few other options there. Salesforce Shield, more of security side. Platform encryption, apply BYOK by your own key. tenant secrets to search index files, encryption for formulas. We never had encryption for formulas or the data the formulas display, but we now have the encryption enabled. Encryption for standard lead fields and wave, which is beta. There are quite a few other additions to that. Event monitoring, prevent identity fraud in government cloud with login forensics. So this is more towards gov people or government cloud. You have login forensics helps you better determine which user behavior is legitimate and which is not. This feature is now available in government pods. Identify users who download large reports. This is one of other features which can be used elsewhere. With that, I am done, and I'll hand it over to Guha. Thank you.
So if you have any questions, just hold on for. Yeah, if you have any questions, just hold on for the end of the session. We will be taking up questions for a few minutes, and then we'll roll off. So folks online, if you have any questions, just post it on the chat window. We will be taking up at the end of the session. So moving on to the Service Cloud part of it. So let's see what are the updates coming up for the summer 17. So under Service Cloud, when we start with the case management, we have this new look for the compact case feed. You have the case feed item and perhaps an expand feature within the case feed. And we have another major enhancement of the case comments. So where earlier we had no option of extensive comment functionalities. Like here, if you see, you can put in the case comment feed filter, where you can filter out certain particular comments based on the date or the recent activity, or if you want to filter out with certain users, you can do that. And we have to note that we don't have ability to create case comments in Lightning, so we need to create a quick action as an alternative. So you'll be creating a quick action, something like this, and to create a case comment record on the case, and then bring that quick action onto this comment layout. So that's another alternative Salesforce is providing, and Salesforce is working on to bring this new comment button on the layout. And going on to the next feature in the comment, now we have the related list for the comments, which will show up on the case window on the console. So we have from the previous Lightning release, we had this Lightning service, which had a complete out-of-box service console, which we can straight away use it instead of creating a separate console on the service side. That's a good feature, and right now they have brought this comment-related list onto that console. And another good part is they have brought the comments into the Salesforce One application as well. Since Salesforce is putting a lot of efforts on the Salesforce One and Lightning experience, so this would be a major a breaking feature, because most of the customers on the service industries are going to be using their mobiles, and they're going to be connecting with the service agents through mobiles, through certain other features like snap-ins and your omni-channel, something like that. So this would be a major enhancement for those type of use cases. And we had a log call in the Lightning, and earlier it was not auto-populating all those contacts and other details like the name and the related to contact. So right now they have brought in that feature, and yeah, right now the logger call can auto-populate your contact and the name of the particular contact. Another major feature which everyone was asking about in the ideas is that assign using active rule. So whenever you do a case assignment in Salesforce Classic, you would have noticed this checkbox being available on the case object. Whenever you edit a record, you would be having this checkbox to enable the assignment rule to fire whenever you click on save of the case. So that was missing in the previous release, and everyone was like, what happened to case assignment rules on the edit layout? So this was a most asked feature in the previous past releases. And so now Salesforce has enabled for that. And the good part is that they have enabled for both Salesforce One application and the Lightning experience. So as Raghu stated, Salesforce is going to move everything into files and attachments. So the attachments and notes and attachments is going to be files in the future. So this is the first step towards it. Like now Salesforce has brought a feature, drag and drop, where you can easily attach any files into the case. So you don't have to click on the upload file, browse into a folder, and do all those stuffs. Just click and just pull and drag and drop into that box, and your attachment gets attached to the case. And the attachment related list is another big feature they brought here. So earlier, when you had a email to case setup, you might be noticing that case attachments would be available directly on case if you're attaching to the case. And if there is any attachment coming through the email, and if it is getting created as case, those attachments would always be under the email section of the case, not on the case. So basically, the attachments would not be updated directly on the case. It would be like a child's child, like you need to go into the related email section of the case and then pull into the attachment section of that email so to get the attachment. So now case has brought an automatic feature where it will pull in the attachment directly to the case object itself. And this is another related list view for the attachments which they have brought for the Salesforce One. And going to the next. Yeah, the sales, the Service Cloud has another update on the case, which is like when you hover over the case, earlier we will not be getting lot many details about the case description and who is the user and what time it was updated last and so on. So this is another detailed section of hover layout where you will get to see the compact layout as well as also the description and the user who has updated it and the time when they updated it. Moving on to the omnichannel. So this is another bigger ask for the from the previous releases, where omnichannel was not enabled in Lightning experience, and a lot of customers have started implementing omnichannel routing in Salesforce Classic. So omnichannel, basically what it does is it will auto route the cases based on the agent's availability. You may ask, we can use case assignment rules as well, but case assignment rules are like default ones which will blindly assign you some cases, but you might be out of office or you might be on a vacation, but there'll be cases getting assigned to you when you're on a vacation. So to avoid those confusions, Salesforce has brought a feature called omnichannel, where it will route the cases based on the availability of the agent at this point of time. Say if I'm online, only then the omnichannel will route the cases to me, or else if I'm out of office or on vacation, Salesforce is not going to bother me in my absence. So that omnichannel feature was available on Classic, and it was a very big help for the customers, and they couldn't get this omnichannel on Lightning experience previously, but now it has been released for the Lightning experience as well. So if you see here, you would see an omnichannel widget at the bottom of the page. So that's how when the agent is online, that's how the cases will pop up on their widget. So I can go ahead and click on the tick mark to accept the case, or I can click on the X mark to decline the case. So say there is a case getting created and it's getting routed to me, and I feel that this case is not related to my area of expertise. I can just click on the X mark, and then I can put in some reasons to say why I'm declining the case. So we'll talk about that in the next screen. So this is where the declining will happen. So if you see on the left side of the screen, so that's where the case is getting popped up on my screen. So I have the options to decline or accept it. And I say this case is not related to my expertise. So I would say it's incorrect queue, and I'm going to click on the X button. I'll be prompted with a reason, select a reason for declining this case. And I'm telling that it is redirected to an incorrect queue. So I'm going to submit it, and this case is going to be vanishing from my screen, and it's going to be again put back into the queue for the reassignment to another agent who is available at that point of time. So another major enhancement on the Lightning experience for Summer 17 is the knowledge articles. So you would have heard about updates on the knowledge that now you can import your articles into the Lightning experience. Earlier, that feature was not available. So now Salesforce has brought a feature called import to import your knowledge articles right from Salesforce Classic into the Lightning experience. Previously, everyone has to create the articles, recreate those articles from the Lightning experience to bring that knowledge articles. But now we have the import options to import those articles from Classic to Lightning. And similar way how we saw it in the case layout, we have a hover for the article. So you don't have to click on the article and to go inside and see what is available in the article. When you are quickly searching for an information about a particular case query, so you can just quickly hover over the article and see what is this article is all about. And you can also read the article on the hover layout itself. You don't have to really clicking into the article record and going into it. And moving on to the next. Now, article is now available on the Salesforce One application as well. So now the agents who are working out of office or someone who's working on the way on the metro, they can just simply log in into their Salesforce One application, quickly review the articles for the cases that they are assigned to. Say if there is a case coming up in the morning and I'm traveling to the office, I can quickly look at the case information and I can go into the knowledge article and see what is the information I have to respond back. So that once I get back to the office, I don't have to waste time on researching on the article and then replying back to the case. So this is another good feature on the Salesforce One application. So this is knowledge sidebar actions. So Salesforce has added few actions on the sidebars, like whenever you see a knowledge article, you have a small drop-down button where you can click that and you can edit the article and you can archive it and you can attach more articles to that. And you can also follow the articles with the follow button so that you get the continuous update whenever someone is updating the article. And this is another major ask from the last release. Whenever when you say articles, it's a whole lot of content. So content might be in the form of hyperlinks. It could be a picture. It could be different forms of fonts and text formatting. So earlier, this feature was not like very enhanced. So now they have given a feature where you click on the edit button in the knowledge article, and you would get to the rich text format where you can do all those formatting, styling, and all those image, including actions. So another major feature for the service industry is that connecting socially on the social networking. So let's say we have a retail store and we have an application on Salesforce. So we have some agents on the back end who's working on the queries sent by the customers. And let's say nowadays, the retail stores are not just the retail stores on the streets, it's on the e-commerce industry as well. So when you shop online, you have query about the sizes or you have a query about a particular model of dress. So you quickly click on a chat window and connect to an online agent and quickly inquire about the queries. And the query routes through the social interface. Say if you're seeing an ad in the Facebook and clicking on that, And if you're starting to chat with the agent, we need to connect the Salesforce environment with the social media. So that's where you will get the Facebook connection to our Salesforce side, and the agents can reply back to them from queries coming from this Facebook. So here we have Facebook reviews. So the agents can quickly see what are all the reviews given for the particular product, and they can quickly look into the issue, what if there's a low rating or if it's a high rating, and what is the whole story behind that. So all those informations can be clubbed together on the Salesforce window with this Facebook integration, and this has been given out of box from Salesforce. So you just need to connect your retail enterprise Facebook account to this particular environment. And you can also do private messages to the particular customer. Say you are an agent sitting at your office and looking at a customer reviewing slightly above average or average. So you can quickly private chat with them to see what is the exact issue which they face, and probably you can give them up a coupon or promo codes to bring them back again into your business. And on the compact feed, we have another social media integration, that is Twitter. So whenever someone tweets about your business or someone tweets about your customer service, that can be tracked all in the chatter post here, and everything comes into this case object. So whenever someone tweets about particular case, hey, this case has been resolved very quickly, thanks to so and so. So that tweet would be coming into this case feed, and you can look up into the case record. You don't have to log into the Twitter account for that. And this is another way to boost your productivity as well. Say, whenever you need to, as a service agents, you need to be connected with both the environments, both on the Salesforce and on the social media. So instead of keeping it like 2-3 windows open and continuously checking back and forth, you can have all the reviews coming in here, and you can respond it from here. You can follow them from here, and it's like one-stop shop for all the service requests coming in through social media. So moving on to the development updates. So these has been all the feature updates we are talking about. So let's go into a little bit of developer mode, since we have a few developers here. So the first update from the Salesforce, which is a major update, I would say, because Salesforce has sent a separate email to every Salesforce user who's been created account in Salesforce. So they sent out an email to say that they're going to block this JavaScript execution on the hyperlink function. So what this hyperlink function usually do is, whenever we wanted to create a hyperlink of particular website, or you wanted to redirect your particular page into a different website page, so we will be, on a developer's perspective, we will be using a hyperlink function inside the formula field. So that hyperlink function has been now deprecated, and they're going to shut off that JavaScript. So what Salesforce is recommending is, please quickly migrate into either of these alternatives which they are providing. Say one is the custom button, which you can do on-click JavaScript function that will redirect you to the particular page, or do any other manipulations if you have. In Lightning experience, you can create a quick action, like how we saw creating a case command through quick action. Similar way, we can create another quick action to redirect or whatever the manipulation you have to do. Or you can create a Visualforce page and Apex controller to redirect to a different URL. Hopefully the developers would be getting a hand of it, how it works, but just an update for you all guys. So next is the locker service, which is enforced for all the Lightning components now. So earlier the locker service is used to be optional one, whether if you want your Lightning components to be secure, and it's should it be free from SQL injections and so on, you would be enabling these locker services. But now it is like by default it is enabled, so you don't have to separately go and enable it. So this is just a glimpse of what is locker service is all about. So locker service is just a security feature which Salesforce has introduced. for the customization part of the Salesforce, where you will be writing code to create Lightning components. So whenever if you want to access a style sheet separately, or if you want to access a different JavaScript libraries from different environments, this Docker service will enable that you access only those libraries which you have really access to, and it will prevent you from any other libraries penetrating into your application and your application accessing any other libraries which is not defined in Salesforce. So that's the functionalities which will be on the prevention side. And what it enables is that, so it will enable a whole lot of JavaScript libraries, like so the React.js, Angular.js, and so on. So these libraries will run more smoothly now without any concerns, without any other third-party libraries interfering into their functionalities. And this ensures a more security to the whole development piece of code, and it gives you more faster transactions as well because of that. So moving on to a few other updates. So these are all new components which has been introduced in the Lightning components. So these are all few tags which you will be using in the Salesforce Lightning component coding. So say, for example, I'll go through very few of this. So the record data is going to be replacing the function which was previously called as preview record. So which will like have a, whenever you do a transaction, say get me the record with a name, say test. So that would be pulling in all the data instead of you need not write a query to pull in all the data. So it will completely take the whole data set of that particular record and then put it in your Lightning cache. And that Lightning cache is going to hold the whole data. So earlier it was called as preview data. And because of the Lightning locker service and other security concerns, they are changing the tag to record data. So that's in beta stage. Hopefully by next release, it should be in the generally available. And if you see the Lightning breadcrumb, so breadcrumb is something like when you navigate through series of pages, you would see a hyperlink of path. Like you came from home page to the second page, and from second page to third page to the fourth page. So you would be seeing like a series of links with what do you call the Angular brackets mentioning that which pathway you travel through to the destination page. So that breadcrumbs can be created now. Earlier we used to do a custom JavaScript coding to bring that into the page, but now they have given a separate tag for that so that you can easily use it. So these are all the few tags which you can review it once you go through the recording. And the next, another bigger ask from the developer perspective is that previously the one you see on the right hand side was the error message panel which was displaying. So which will probably will not give any information other than that there is some kind of JavaScript issue is going on, and you won't know where to debug and where to look into the code for that. So now on the right, on the left hand side, if you see, there is a new component which they are showing up. Whenever there is a error occurring on your page or the JavaScript, it will exactly show you which line of code and which column of the code it is getting the issue on. And it will also tell you the markup tag name, whichever is going wrong, so that it is more now developer friendly to use it. And in the part of Visualforce, we have this PDF rendering. So earlier, PDF rendering was not like as a when you wanted to render the whole VF page as a PDF, there were a lot of concerns about CSS getting messed up and your page styling is getting messed up, your images not appearing properly, so on. So now Salesforce has introduced a separate attribute called advanced_PDF. So with this attribute, your VF page can be rendered completely in whatever the format it is. And to ensure the stylings, they recommend using this particular tag in front of your VF page, where if you see on the second line, media print, WebKit print, color adjust. So this is a attribute which will ensure all your stylings are in the proper place, and whenever you render the page as a PDF, it renders the whole Visualforce page in the same format as you see in the window. Moving on to the Apex. So we have few other new classes being introduced in the Apex. I'll explain you in the next slide. But this is one of the example where we had metadata API earlier. So with metadata API, basically what you can do is you can create components. You can create the metadata of the particular data. Say, for example, I have a custom object, say ABC, and you need to create the custom object either going into the setup and doing it by manually, or if you want to do create an object on the fly in the code. So you have to do a metadata API scripting, where you would be instructing the Salesforce to look up to the metadata services and call the methods from them and create an object from there. So that was like pretty much of like 2-3, like stepping onto the 4 steps and then reaching the final goal. But now it has been converted into a class. Now it's very simple, that metadata dot whatever the function you want to create. Say this sidebar component will create me a sidebar component. As simple as that. So that's one more bigger update from developer standpoint. And next one is, another is the cache builder. So earlier, even though we have a built-in cache with the browser, we were still having issues with a lot of cache memory. So we were not able to hold a lot of information from the database onto the browser side. So now Salesforce has enabled a class called cache builder, where you would be able to query the data and keep it in your browser side, so that you don't have to every time go and call the server to bring in the data back into the browser. So that will cut down all your limitations on the Salesforce side. And now we can pre-query all those information into your browser side, and cache builder will have a separate cache memory, so that you don't have to really use the browser cache to cache your data set. So your data set lives in your cache builder's cache memory. And these are the new Apex classes which has been introduced. So if you see, most of the names would be like sounding similar to what you see and hear from the standard layouts. Say if you see the feed layout filters, these are all the terms which you would see in the Salesforce Lightning layouts. But whenever we go for a custom functionality, sometimes we have seen customers asking for the same type of UI coming on their application. So how would you create a same type of UI with the Salesforce? So certainly we were doing third-party libraries where you would be looking up to Bootstrap or something else to bringing those type of stylings, those type of UI and stuff. So to minimize that, Salesforce is introducing a whole lot of built-in libraries. So these are all like a few libraries. If you see feed layout, they can bring in those feed layouts similar to what you have in the standard layouts. So this is still a coding process. You will still code, say feed layout dot get the record will bring you the feed layout with the record details. So as simple as that. Earlier you used to query the record, you build a layout with Bootstrap or some other library, and then put up that information on the layout to match the similar styling of the Salesforce. Now it is being like just a 2-line of code to minimize all those efforts. So the ones which I highlighted in the red are something which has been more commonly used by people. So just to highlight you that these are all the asks from the community idea section, and that has been delivered in 17. So this is a bit of a configuration side where you have seen approval processes. So these approval processes, what we usually do is we submit for approval on the classic, and we do levels of approval and so on. But on the Lightning side, we never had a functionality for reassigning those approvals. We never had a functionality for recalling those submitted approvals. So to do that, we now Salesforce has introduced those functionalities. Like you can now reassign your approval request. Suppose if that particular person is out of office or if he is out of the company, then you can reassign those particular requests back into some other user or the queue. And suppose if you have submitted your your timesheet and you forgot to fill time for one day and you have submitted it for approval, suddenly you realize it and you can quickly recall those submitted approvals and then fill back the information and submit it again. And now you can see the approval comments on the Salesforce One mobile app. So that's the view of one of the comments which will show up like when you open the mobile browser. And in terms of visual flows, so now visual flows, if you have seen visual flows, there are like two types of visual flows. That is automated visual flow, and you can also do automated flow, and you can do a visual flow, which is like the user interaction side of it. So your visual flow will be having few screens where you would be designing the screens on the configuration part, and then when you activate this flow, whenever you click on a button or whenever you navigate to a page, if you embed that flow into that page, you would be seeing this screen. And now this flow has been enabled in the Lightning pages. So now it's easy for you to bring the same classic flows into the Lightning as well. And yeah, there are two ways to launch the flow. One is that through buttons and links, where you click on a button, you can say on a click on a button, you should pop up this page and show up this survey information, and the user can go ahead and click on yes or no, and then they can go through the flow process. And you can also redirect this flows through Lightning. So earlier we used to redirect only to the classic pages. Now Salesforce gives an option to redirect to the Lightning pages as well. And this is completely a new concept which is getting introduced. This is called session-based permission sets. So we have all seen only permission sets in Salesforce. So what is this session-based permission sets? So session-based permission set is something like, for example, I'm using an application called, say, XYZ, and I'm supposed to use the permission set only for this application. Say this permission set would give me access to, say, custom object A and accounts object, and I don't need access to these two objects when I'm outside of that application. Say I can be using two applications on Salesforce, but I don't need access to this particular permission set when I have the other application on. So this session-based permission set what it will do is that it will determine which application you are in, which session you are in. It will record the session ID, and you can define the rules based on that, saying that, okay, if this particular person is logging into this application, only then you activate this permission set. So if you define as a permission set as a session-based permission set, that particular permission set will be activated only when you are inside that particular application. When you log out of that application, you will no longer have the access to that particular two objects. So that is a simple explanation of that. And you can also activate and deactivate this session-based permission sets via flows. So whenever there is if you see on the right-hand side, so you're looking up to a record and saying that, so if this record satisfies this particular session ID, then you give access to this particular session-based permission set. So you will just drag this permission set which you have defined. So you will drag it to activate it. And once that particular condition is satisfied, it is going to be activating you this permission set. All right, we are at the end of the session. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Or Raghu, you have a question here on the chat. Okay. So anyone has any questions regarding the session today? I think everyone is exhausted about the session. Yeah.
How far along do you feel like Lightning is right now? It seemed like a lot. Like there were a couple features that were Lightning only, but then most of them were just catching up to Classic.
Yeah, I mean, Lightning is still not yet fully evolved. Is what we still observing that. Looking at the releases, if you would continuously monitor the past couple of releases, most of them are concentrated on Lightning. That's because they are still not yet fully evolved, and they are evolving into the full-fledged Lightning environment. Salesforce ultimate goal is to completely disown the classic environment, or at least keep the classic environment as the back seat and put the Lightning on the front seat. So that's their plan, and so that's why we see a lot of updates coming nowadays on the Lightning side more than rather than the classic environment. We are getting more updates on the Lightning side. Yeah, I would say they are still on the road, not yet to the finish point.
What about the percentage of functionality it has compared to Classic?
I'm sorry?
The percentage of functionality it has compared to Classic. So is it fully, is all the functionality in Classic in Lightning now?
Not all the functionality. I would say functionality wise it is there. Everything is there in Lightning, but it's based on the objects what you have for Classic and the Lightning. So certain objects are still not enabled for Lightning experience. For example, earlier omnichannel was not enabled for Lightning experience, and now it is enabled. And there are few features which is in Classic which is not yet enabled in Lightning experience. I couldn't name it right out of my head now, but you can Google through it. So there are many features which is still yet in Classic but not in Lightning experience, and they are working on it. Yeah, I should have put up the roadmap what they have projected in this 17 release. Yeah, we will post it in the chatter group. Probably you can take a look at it. They have a roadmap till 2018 summer. They have couple of enhancements coming up on that. So yeah, for at least for another couple of years, they are going to be still improving the Lightning experience, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be concentrating like 80% on Lightning and 20% on the Classic. So right now their complete goal is to moving towards Lightning. So that's how everyone is moving towards a UI, right? So the UI has been transformed from what we saw in 5 years back and what is now. So yeah, that would be the plan for Salesforce to move towards Lightning. Okay, yeah.
128 to 256. Yeah.
So what happens to the fields which are encrypted in 128 bits? Is it when we convert, we automatically convert to the new spread, or that will remain in 128?
So according to the release notes, there are fields on lead object, 10 standard fields which we can enable PII, and the note says the upcoming fields are 256, and the encryption platform is updated for upcoming fields. But I'm not sure if we have a migration process from 128 to 256 for existing fields, or they are updated as part of this release. I'm not sure about it.
I'm just not too sure to update contacts of status, like so companies. Do you have any idea where they're pulling that information from? Is that applicable for like C-level executives, like Ford or Fortune 500 company, or like is that like for Sally's Catering? Like where are they pulling that information from? Do you have any idea?
So there are two options. The question is, where does Einstein pull the information for automated contacts or updating the accounts or contact information? So the answer is in 2 points. The first one is, if you have data.com installed on your organization, it directly pulls from data.com and from the updated API there. If not, I think it leverages data.com, but because you don't have data.com purchase, or you don't have access to that, it comes as part of Einstein. But right, I believe any account having a DUNS number with Duns and Bradstreet has their information in data.com, and the current information is from that particular source. And that's where actually Salesforce gets their information with lead scoring and suggestions with accounts and contacts.
I was just like, if the contact is still with the company, because our industry, like with hospitality, there's a lot of turnover. And that's a huge problem. Is a contacts like who we previously contacted 2 years ago, there's no way they're still with the company usually. And so if there's any way to automate that to say that they're still with the company. But I don't know, I doubt they can get that granular without plugging me into our printing.
So when I went through Einstein Insights, there was an update which says anyone moving from the company or changing their positions or internal leadership changes, I believe they get that information from news, or I'm not sure where their backend is from, but a lot of that is updated as part of Einstein Insights.
But if they get from you, then that's probably like C-level position.
Yeah, it's got to be like Fortune 500.
Yeah, like anybody, lower than that. Yeah, LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, LinkedIn, one of the sources. Yes,
LinkedIn.
I'm not sure in their backend. I'm not sure about it.
It's a similar feature for news as well for Einstein. So if you have accounts, global accounts, only global accounts, any news article in news or on web, Einstein automatically pulls it itself, and that's what it is. And I guess that's exactly the same thing with contacts as well. It's only with those top companies.
With the top companies, and also based on your top opportunities. So if you have one opportunity with, say, WeWork, it grabs all the information available in legit news articles and pulls out that, and from the Twitter channel as well. I think there are no questions. So there's one question. First one is Einstein Discovery a paid feature? Yes. That's it. Thank you for coming and joining us.
Thanks, guys, for the folks who are online as well. Yeah, we will. Since we had the projector at one end and we had the computer connected at the other end, I think the online folks would not be hearing us very clearly. We'll try to arrange it a little better the next time for the online sharing. And we would strongly recommend you guys to come into the meetup rather than connecting online, because this is the only place you will get to connect with people and see what the other people are doing in their projects or in their company. And you would get to know like what other customers are looking for in Salesforce. Yeah.
Before we
Yeah.
wrap up, two more updates. Not updates. First one, any announcements? If you have any announcements, please go ahead. And Sanjay.
And what am I doing?
Any announcements? You're on.
No, I'm on. So announcements. So we've been talking about doing a hackathon, and we announced it. So the idea is to work closely with a nonprofit user group, and pick out some nonprofits and collect some ideas, so that we would do a hackathon that would last a weekend. So we'll probably start on a Saturday, let's say in the morning, and then get everybody to present their solution the next day, Sunday, and review. So all of it would benefit nonprofits that we end up choosing, and so we're definitely looking for people to participate. We're targeting September to actually do this, so we got a couple of months to prepare. But anybody has any ideas or you want to participate, if you have a group of friends that not present here today, but you guys want to get together and come and participate, would love to have you. Love to get more ideas. If you've done hackathons in the past, we're definitely open to feedback. What's good, what's not good. So yeah, I mean, we're very excited about it. So we're doing it with the nonprofit user group. And so, I mean, if you have a nonprofit that you support and you want to throw the name in the hat, let us know. But we will be announcing more details, in the upcoming meetups. So we're just in the initial planning phases right now. Yeah, obviously the nonprofit has to use Salesforce. If they don't use Salesforce, we can get them on Salesforce. There's 10 free licenses that Salesforce provides to nonprofits. So So yeah, so more details to come. Feel free to reach out if you have any ideas or any suggestions. I see some new faces. I would encourage you to join our success community, which is success.salesforce.com, and you can look for the DC dev group. Obviously, you are on the meetup. We also have a Slack channel that you can join. So definitely, come see any of us if you want to join, and we'll get you on the list. We are on Twitter.
Yes. So you can, let me get you the Twitter handle name.
We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook.
DC Salesforce DG.
Yeah.
And then we're working on getting a website as well.
So we are on the Twitter, that's called, what is that called? DC Salesforce DG. That's a Twitter handle name. And yeah, you can follow us on Twitter. We are on Facebook as well. You can just type Salesforce Developer Group, DC Salesforce Developer Group. And we are on the Slack. That's why we put up the logo with Slack and Meetup. Meetup is the main place where we will collaborate for arranging meetups and hackathon events and other stuffs. And for the Slack is a general community for chatting with people in terms of Salesforce, or you need any help with a particular problem. You can post a problem there. People will jump in to help there. So it's more of a collaborative kind of a chatter you use in Salesforce, something like that. So if you have any, if you guys are new to new to Slack, you can give me the ID by end of this session, your email ID, so that I can add you to Slack right away. And please visit meetup.com and search for DC Salesforce Developer Group. You would find the link, and please enroll yourself into the group there as well, so that you constantly get updates about the new meetups we are arranging every month. So probably by every month we will be having one meetup at least going further. And we are going to be expanding more on the social platform as well. So feel free to retweet our posts on Twitter, follow us on the Twitter, on Facebook, and let's be more collaborative than what we do in meetups, just inside the small wall. All right, so
I guess this concludes the meetup today. Feel free to get to know your neighbors.
all right.
We'll see you guys.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for our participation.